Hey there, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm sitting here in the studio and I'm just trying to find some random things to react to. Um, I just I tried a little bit of everything, asking Siri what I should react to, and yeah, yeah, nah, I don't think that worked out too good. I don't know. AI is just so out of touch. So anyway, I just pulled this up. Mark Pritchard, "Beautiful People," official video featuring Thom Yorke. So I haven't heard this. I listened to Tall Tales just recently, so I'm really interested to see what this is going to sound like. So anyway, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Wow. That was really cool. I like that. That was cool. Let me take a look at the lyrics here. I was so intrigued by the video. The video was really good. You know, sometimes when you're listening to something and if the video is distracting, it takes away from the music. But if the video is really good and really married to the music, really artistically, then you need to watch that video because it's part of the experience, the whole experience. So I was really caught up in trying to look at the lyrics. Once it started going, it was hard for me to catch the lyrics, so I called them up on here, and I was my attention was drawn back and forth between the lyrics and the video. So this is interesting. Hence my care for you, beautiful people. You know that. You know you're that. Hence my care for you. I can't go back on all of that. Hence my care for you. That the love is ours, a flap of the wings into chaos that it brings. The light goes on, the light goes off, flies out the window, while angels stroke your head. To know that you're that, I can't go back. It's really, really interesting. Hence my care for you, beautiful people. If there is a God, hence my care for you. So what I'm getting for this is pretty interesting. It sounds like somebody who's, and again, you know, I could be off the mark. This is just what's coming through to me from the lyrics. Is that somebody who cares for their fellow man because they're, maybe not because, but they're don't know whether there's a God or not. But the idea is that we should instill that spirit in one another, whether there is a God or not. We should treat each other with care. And the fact that he calls everybody beautiful people, you know you're that, is, you know, a very selfless and caring kind of sentiment. Very, very interesting. I'm running blind to the faces I have, I can't go back. To know that you're that, I can't go back. I dial out the bad, hence my care for you. If there is a God, cut me some slack. That's interesting, because that last verse, you know, he's kind of hedging his bet, saying, look, you know, if there is a God out there, and, you know, I may not have been perfect, but the care that I'm have within me for fellow man is something that might be worth, you know, cutting a little slack to. So that was real interesting. And the music, that repeating figure, see if I can remember now. Something like that. Let's take a listen. Let's see what that was. But so that first minor seventh interval there caught my attention right away. I heard that right away, and so that's the main motif. That's the main riff. And that reoccurs throughout the whole thing, and I think that's really interesting because it's the framework that everything else lies on, and then you have this punctuated by lower notes. I think they were just fifths. They weren't chords. I think they were just fifths that he was playing down there. Let's hear what that was. And then you have like kind of a canon, kind of a repeated figure. So a canon is a musical technique where you have a melody, and in this case, but then you have a second one, in this case an octave lower, but they don't start at the same time. They're staggered. Kind of, I don't know if you remember, if anyone still does this, but that whole row, row your boat thing where somebody starts singing row, row your boat, and then somebody comes in on the next portion of the song, and you're singing it together, and you're not at the same place, but it works somehow, and that's a canon, and that's the technique that's happening here. It's really, really interesting. Kind of happening underneath it. Very, very cool. So cool. So cool. And then the drum beat that's happening there almost sounds like the ticking of a clock. That kind of back and forth tick tock effect. Right? Got another synthesizer sound in there, more of like a sawtooth wave. C, B flat. D. Go down to an A there, sure. A minor scale. Very cool. But then when it kind of slows down here, very interesting. So now the main motif starts fading out, and you have what's left. Chords, I hear thirds in there. They may have been all along, it's just they're hard to hear because they're so. And now all of a sudden, what was an what was an accompaniment figure before, those chords that were underneath that riff, which were kind of an accompaniment figure before, are now taking prominence because now that main motif has faded out, and it makes it all that more powerful when it comes back in. So we have a minor to a major four chord, back to the flat three. And here comes now. Very, very cool. I hate to stop it. It's just really cool. What a wonderful, evocative sonic painting this is. So this is my first introduction to Mark Pritchard, and wow, I can't wait to do some more listening to his stuff. Very cool, very tasteful. You know, it's. Sometimes, you know, you think about electronic music, and when I go back, you think of electronic music as kind of experimental. But to hear like classical compositional elements in this electronic music is to me, it's pretty intriguing. Only because I haven't heard stuff like that in a long time. At least listening to electronic stuff, most of it is just, you know, as I said, it's experimental, and a lot of times you throw out convention, you throw out, you know, the old ideas because you're coming in with new stuff. But this is done in a really interesting way that is smart and artistic and cool and just and interesting to listen to. So I think this was really cool. I like this. Beautiful people. I like everything about it. I like the lyrics. I like the sentiment. I like the Thom Yorke style singing, where he's, you know, a lot of times I hear his voice floating on top of the music, whereas, you know, you listen to a lot of other mainstream music and the melody is just something that goes along with the chords in there, and they're all locked together. But with a lot of the Radiohead stuff, with Thom Yorke singing, I hear his vocal kind of just saying, instead of thinking of the music as something he's locked into and he's got to sing to the music, he's a little experimental. He'll move the pitch around a little bit and go to a note that's maybe not necessarily in that chord, and maybe is a little out. And by out, that's just an expression that means you're using a note that's not normally something that goes along with that type of a sound. And, you know, in jazz, it could be something that spices up the chord and makes it more interesting. So I like how his music, his vocals, just like I said, it's like, if I can use an analogy, the music is water, and he's above the water, flying, you know, above the water, maybe matching the waves as they go, but definitely, you know, above. I don't know if I'm getting a little too metaphysical here and getting a little too, but I think that's really interesting. That's what I like. I like the whole experience. I think it was really great. So yeah, Mark Pritchard, Beautiful People, featuring Thom Yorke. Excellent, really cool. So anyway, let me keep going. Let's see what else we can take a look at today. See you in a bit.